Grade 1 Joe Hirsch Turf Classic Invitational. Here's John Embrial with the call.
And they're off. From the inside, Twilight Eclipse and Imagining. And on the outside, there's Real Solution and Medal Count. As they come by the stands for the first time, it's Imagining with a narrow lead over Real Solution. Medal Count races in third, and Twilight Eclipse is next in fourth. Main Sequence fifth in the early going, with Big Blue Kitten in sixth, and Hangover Kid, the long shot, is the trailer in seventh. They're moving for the clubhouse turn, and it's Imagining, the leader here. Imagining over Real Solution and a Medal Count. Twilight Eclipse saving ground down on the inside in fourth. Then comes Main Sequence in fifth, followed by Big Blue Kitten, and Hangover Kid remains the trailer. Imagining leading here by 3/4 of a length over Real Solution. The quarter went in 26 and 2, the half mile in 50 and 4. Imagining leads the field onto the backstretch and is in front by almost a length. Real Solution second by a length. Twilight Eclipse down at the rail. Medal Count on the outside. Those two right together, third and fourth. Main Sequence is fifth, about 5 lengths from pace-setting Imagining. That is Big Blue Kitten in sixth, and Hangover Kid at the back. 3/4 in 1:15 and 2. They continue up the long Belmont backstretch, and Imagining is holding on to the lead here, with Real Solution continuing to track in second. Medal Count on the outside, and then Twilight Eclipse now getting a bit closer. Main Sequence is still in fifth, about 4.5 from the front. Then Big Blue Kitten and Hangover Kid, and they're racing around the far turn. Imagining has been in front right from the start. Real Solution has chased the entire way. Main Sequence is beginning to pick it up and is splitting horses and is coming on into third now. Twilight Eclipse down at the rail, then Medal Count, Big Blue Kitten, and Hangover Kid, and the field is at the top of the stretch. Imagining, Real Solution. Here's Main Sequence on the outside, and Twilight Eclipse looking for racing room down towards the rail. Imagining, Twilight Eclipse now coming on through, and Main Sequence is there. Big Blue Kitten on the far outside. It's Main Sequence and Twilight Eclipse. Those two down to the wire in a thrilling finish that goes to Main Sequence. He's won 3 straight Grade 1 stakes since coming to the U.S., and he's done them all in photo finishes. Main Sequence defeats Twilight Eclipse.
You heard in the call from John Embrial, they have not found a way to beat Main Sequence since he's come to America. 3 for 3 in Grade 1 races, and now a guaranteed spot in the Breeders' Cup Turf, and he does it the same way each time, just taking the heart out of his competition on the wire.
Poor Twilight Eclipse. This has been the 3rd time in a row.
Yeah.
If he had maybe a hand on his hoof, he might have slapped Main Sequence, because Main Sequence has sort of toyed with him a couple times. Last time he thought he had it won. Again, he lets the horse sort of fight back. Great information there by Simon Bray, because he was right. He waited on horses, but right when they got to the wire, Rajiv pointed his head right at Twilight Eclipse, and he went right on by.
Main Sequence, this is a serious racehorse for the Breeders' Cup Turf, owned by Flaxman Holdings.
Again, didn't break that well, Todd.
Right.
Again.
Yeah, you know, but I like what Rajiv Mirage did. He didn't just kind of settle in when he dropped to the rail. He moved by a couple of horses and actually ended up with kind of a mid-pack trip, which is important. As you talked about that early pace, the opening quarter mile 26 and 2, the half 50 and 4. Yeah, they picked it up to the second quarter, but the key was Main Sequence was never further than 6 lengths back throughout that pace and always had a clear run. Very well executed ride by Rajiv Mirage, and this was not your betting favorite. He was the second choice at 9-5, as the entry of Big Blue Kitten and 1A Real Solution had that distinction. Now there is a steward's inquiry into this race, along with an objection against your unofficial winner, the 5 Main Sequence. In the middle of the stretch run, he did come over to engage, and it looked like one part of the entry had to take up just a little bit. I believe it was the one Big Blue Kitten. And we're listening to John Embrial announce this. And again,
main sequence.
We believe it's Big Blue
Jose
Kitten
Lozcano, the rider
against
of number 2, Twilight
main
Eclipse,
sequence.
alleging
No,
interference
we're actually receiving word now. It is Jose Lozcano, the rider of the 2, Twilight Eclipse, against the winner. That surprises me.
Yeah, here's the deal. What ended up happening was the one was backing out. If we get to get a head-on or another pan view, I told you that Imagining is a tough horse to ride. Joel Rosario hit the horse left-handed, and when Twilight Eclipse was trying to come through that hole, he sort of got this. Since we're in New York, we've got the Jersey sandwich, because the 3 came out, the 5 came in, and it sort of closed off the 2. What ended up happening was the 1A sort of backed out. Now watch Rajiv, see the 3? See right there, the 3 come out just a tad? What ended up happening, it squeezed Real Solution right out of there, but that was it. There was nothing else to be seen.
But that's the whole thing. If you're saying it squeezed a horse like Big Blue Kitten out of there, I mean, it
was Real Solution.
Yeah,
it wasn't even the one.
I don't see where Twilight Eclipse was bothered at all by the unofficial winner here. Now the head-on might tell us more.
Okay, here's the head-on. Rajiv Mirage, I'm telling you, Joel Rosario's trying to get the 3 to look at horses. There's no contact there. What ended up happening was the 3 actually sort of herded the 2 a tiny bit. Ooh, there at the end. Okay, now that at the end, but that was right at the wire. Now watch Joel Rosario on the 3, trying to get Imagining to see his competition. Well, Real Solution just backs out of there. Nothing going on, anything at all to the end right here. It should be 5 against the 2 right at the wire, but that was basically right after the wire. They did bump. But watch right here, the pan view. The 1A is just backing out of there, dead horse anyway. No contact, maybe just got shied away a little bit, but Twilight Eclipse got through that hole with no problem. But wow, they really did hit each other right there about 5 yards before the wire. I think they leave it up.
Oh, you think they leave it up? I mean, if you're telling me that bump happened before the wire, how do you leave it up?
He was by him, right? He was by him.
The question is, does it happen near the wire or after the wire?
Right there, you can see him stand up. And the whole thing is the 2 should be blinking.
Well, look, you can tell Rajiv Mirage has a sick look on his face. And look, the 5 main sequence was getting out during that stretch run, so he goes right-handed, but all of a sudden main sequence kind of overcorrects, and he doesn't even realize that he's going to come up on the 2 Twilight Eclipse. I mean, if he did, obviously he would have switched over his stick to his left hand, but main sequence was getting out. He went to strong right-handed urging, and then all of a sudden these 2 horses come together. So, Paulie, let me understand this clearly, what you're saying. If this bump happens before the wire, you still say they keep it the same?
Yeah, I do, because main sequence was going to win the race, and it was about 5 inches before the wire, and he won the race by a neck.
Again, objection. It's been decided.
There'll be no change.
No change.